What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be taking a look at a few little tips that will help get you guys those 5,000 kills to unlock the new Maul Skin as soon as possible. For those who maybe don't know, the new skin is locked behind a challenge that requires 5,000 kills online with Darth Maul. Now that is a hell of a lot of kills, and a lot of people haven't been too happy with it, honestly, but at the end of the day we can't change that number, so I thought I'd just bring you guys a few quick little tips that might help speed up the process even by just a little bit. A lot of this is going to be very basic, straightforward stuff. There is no get rich quick schemes for this challenge, and so it might all seem super obvious, but just keep in mind this is probably more for the beginner type players who are just looking for anything to help speed them up. So getting straight into the tips, and there's really a couple of options straight off the bat for how you can approach this whole challenge. A lot of people say to play co-op, as obviously racking up bot kills is both fun and relatively easy, but a lot of people will actually tell you to play Supremacy as the games are longer and there are obviously still bots, so I'll touch on both the pros and cons for each of those different game modes. Starting off with Supremacy, and this is really only a valid option for those of you who feel like you are a good enough player that you can consistently get the first hero as well as getting a lot of kills in the actual game. The thing that Supremacy has going for it is that the games are so damn long when you play on the prequel and sequel maps, and so once you do get on the dark side and get your hands on Maul, you're going to essentially have more uninterrupted playtime. Let's just say you get Darth Maul on Camino when you're playing Supremacy, you might be able to get, say, a 50 to 60 kill streak, more or less depending on skill obviously, but then if you can get him again when you go up to the capital ship phase, then that's probably another, say, 20 to 40 kills you can get in that phase as long as you do get him. If you do lose that phase, well, back down you go, and again, if you do manage to snag him a third time, you can pretty much just rinse and repeat that for as long as the game goes. If you're a good player and if you do have a squad with you who can help control the lobby, for example, just like not winning in the capital ship in order to extend the game, then this is undoubtedly the best option, as the game can just go forever and you can honestly probably rack up like 300 to 400 kills in a single game, if not more. A few guys like Jabba and Tavek, for example, they already have the skin, and as far as I know, this is the strategy that they use with essentially just spawn trapping bots in Supremacy, and so it obviously works very well if you can manage to do it. On the other hand though, if you're not quite a good enough player, which I would include myself in that group even though I think I'm somewhat decent at the game, then the only issue is that 1, you're not guaranteed to get Maul since there are obviously 19 other players fighting for that hero, and 2, you can't choose the faction, and therefore you might actually have to sit through a whole light side game just to get the dark side. The other thing is that there are obviously also real players, so all it takes is say 1 to 2 sweats chasing you around and that kill streak could end very quickly. So pretty much what I'm saying is if you do feel confident enough, then Supremacy is definitely the best option, but for probably like 95% of the player base, I do think that co-op is the smartest and the safest way to go about it. In co-op you are only fighting 3 others for the first hero, plus you do get to choose the faction, so you can always just guarantee that you're on the dark side every single game, and those 2 things alone just make it the much safer option for the large majority of the player base. Now, when it comes to playing co-op, you can choose to play on the prequels or the OT, as obviously Maul is now available in both. But just from my experience, I'd recommend choosing the OT maps, as they seem to be a lot better in terms of the spawn points in the close quarters areas, pretty much meaning that the bots will bunch up a lot and funnel through areas that you can quickly kill them all at once. The prequel maps are still great, so I wouldn't say don't play on those. I just personally think the OT maps are just a little bit better for essentially farming the bots, which is pretty much what you're going to be needing to do. Now, when it comes to getting Maul the fastest, I recommend using the Officer class to start the round with the Officer's Presence, Bounty Hunter, and Improved Battle Command or Recharge Command, as this will give you the fastest BP income possible. You essentially just want to get as many kills and assists as possible, so put down your turret in high traffic areas, throw your concussion grenade into large groups, and just do anything you can to get points, at which point you should be able to get the first hero. Once you have picked Maul, the best cards to use are probably the Lightsaber Defense card, which reduces damage taken from blasters, the Flow Motion card giving you that extra spin attack, which is great for both kills and survivability, and then as for the last card, this one really does just come down to your own personal preference. The Savage card is really good if you're on a map where the enemies are bunching up a lot, or the Ranged Throw or Accelerated Throw cards are great if you do want to make the most of the Saber Throw, so I'd recommend just messing around and seeing which ones suit you the best, but all of them can work fairly well regardless. Now, lastly, just for how to try and get a few more kills per round, the way that the bots spawn in is kind of weird, and for some reason they all just kind of spawn at like 10 at a time and then run into the battle together. So what you want to try and do is find the spawn points on each phase of each map, and then once you have, you essentially just want to camp those spawns and be an absolute sweat once they do spawn in. I'll try and show some footage of what I mean, but you can often just head into a hallway where there are like 10 of them who have just spawned, and just combine all your abilities to pretty much get 10 free kills every time they spawn in, and and you can just even switch sides of the map to the other spawn and do the same again. This combined with the very basic strategy of just staying in high traffic areas and getting as many kills as you can is going to be the best combination of a fast yet safe way to get a heap of kills very consistently each game. At the end of the day, that's really all there is for me to mention. Honestly, it really is just as simple as heading into one of those two modes and just trying to get as many kills as you possibly can, and at the end of the day, that's really all there is to it. Hopefully some of these tips can help you guys speed up the process. It might only be the difference between, say, 50 kills per game and 60 kills per game, but over the course of that 5,000 kills, that could end up saving you a fair chunk of time. If you did enjoy the video, then make sure to leave a like down below to help support the channel, and be sure to subscribe with those notifications on so you don't miss out on any more Star Wars gaming videos or live streams. Thank you all so much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.